So what determines how well we sleep and the quality of our wakeful state? Turns out that's governed by two forces. The first force is a chemical force. It's called adenosine. Adenosine is a molecule in our nervous system and body that builds up the longer we are awake. So if you've just slept for 8 or 9 or 10 really deep restful hours, adenosine is going to be very low in your brain and body. If, however, you've been awake for 10, 15 or more hours, adenosine levels are going to be much higher. Adenosine creates a sort of sleep drive or a sleep hunger. And actually, hunger is the appropriate word here, because for most of what we're going to discuss today, we can think of it in an analogous way to nutrition. Your nutrition and how well you feel after you eat certain foods, your overall level of fitness and your cellular health and your heart health isn't governed by any one food item that you might eat or not eat. It's governed by a number of different factors: how often you eat, how much you eat, which items you eat, etc., and what works best for you. In the same way, your sleep and your wakefulness are the product of kind of the average of a number of different behaviors. How long you've been awake is a key one because of this molecule adenosine. So the reason you get sleepy when you've been up for a while is because adenosine is creeping up steadily the longer you've been awake.
So what Andrew Huberman is saying here is that if you're feeling sleepy, you shouldn't be mad at your husband, wife, or kids, boyfriend or girlfriend, or even the dog next door. We should really be mad at adenosine for making us feel so sleepy. One of the cool things we've learned in a previous video is that we are able to recycle adenosine in our body to make more ATP, which is the energy currency of our body. Sleeping for about 7 to 9 hours gives our body enough time to recycle the adenosine in our body so that we don't feel sleepy the next day. But let's say you don't get enough sleep and you're feeling really tired. What do most people do? The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup, baby. You know the rest. What a catchy advertisement, am I right? Coffee. The answer is coffee. When we're tired in the morning, we reach for our coffee to wake ourselves up. Or we go some places and spend ridiculous amounts of money on really sugary coffee. Either way, coffee is what we use to wake us up. You want to know why? Caffeine. Caffeine is a hell of a drug. There are receptors in our brain that are designated as adenosine receptors. When we burn ATP, adenosine is the byproduct and it will float around until it locks onto one of these receptors. Well, a caffeine molecule is the same shape as the adenosine molecule and can actually lock on to the adenosine receptor. This microphone is doing an amazing job of being an adenosine receptor. So when the caffeine molecule attaches to the adenosine receptor, it prevents the adenosine molecules to attach to the receptor and make you feel sleepy. It's pretty cool because caffeine can come to the rescue if you're feeling absolutely exhausted. But here's the thing, when those caffeine molecules detach from the adenosine receptors, all those adenosine molecules come flooding into your system and attach to those adenosine receptors and can make you feel really sleepy. That's why we call it a caffeine crash. So it's recommended to drink your coffee around 2 to 3 hours after waking up, rather than drinking it immediately after we get out of bed, so that we can rely on our cortisol and adrenaline response in our body to wake us up naturally. We have been convinced by all of these coffee companies that if we don't have our caffeine, we're not going to be able to function. And sometimes that might be true because you get a crappy night's sleep. But if we start going to bed a little earlier and push back drinking our coffee to around 2 to 3 hours after waking up, you could see a significant change to the amount of energy you have throughout the day. Give it a try. And I'm talking more than just a couple of times. Your energy levels aren't going to just change like that, and you're not going to stop craving caffeine automatically. It will take some time, and your body will adapt. Get after it.